Hey, Canada, how's it going up there? Remember that time we almost went to war over a pig? Yeah, good times. It was 1859 and a pig wandered into the wrong garden. Who knew that could almost spark a war? The US and Canada go way back. We're like siblings, we've had our ups and downs, but we've always been there for each other. We share the world's longest undefended border. That's over 5,500 miles of friendship and cooperation. We love hockey, some of us anyway. It's more than just a game, it's a shared passion that brings us together, and we do a ton of business together. Our economies are deeply intertwined. For ages, we've been each other's biggest trading partners, from the early days of fur trading to modern-day tech exchanges. Seriously, we buy and sell more stuff to each other than anyone else. It's a relationship built on trust and mutual benefit. Think cars, lumber, oil, you name it, we trade it. Our industries are interconnected in ways that boost both our nations. This relationship has been a win-win, boosting both our economies. We've seen growth and prosperity thanks to our collaboration. But like any good sibling rivalry, things haven't always been smooth sailing. We've had our fair share of disputes. We've had our share of disagreements, especially when it comes to trade. Tariffs, quotas and regulations have sometimes caused friction. Remember that whole softwood lumber thing? It was a long-standing issue that tested our patience and diplomacy. Yeah, not our finest hour, but we learned from it and moved forward. Still, we always seem to patch things up. Our leaders know the importance of maintaining a strong relationship. After all, we're stuck with each other, geographically speaking at least. Our proximity makes us natural partners. Plus, deep down, we know we're better together. Our shared values and goals unite us. Right, Canada? Right? Here's to many more years of friendship and cooperation. Remember NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement? Well, it got a makeover and a new name, CUSMA, the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement. Same three amigos, slightly different rules. CUSMA is basically a set of rules for how we do business in North America. It's like a prenup for countries, but instead of dividing up the silverware, it's about tariffs, labor laws, and environmental regulations. So, what's the big deal with CUSMA? Well, it's supposed to make trade between our countries even easier and more profitable. It's also supposed to protect workers and the environment. Sounds good, right? Of course, the devil is in the details, and some folks aren't convinced CUSMA is the amazing deal it's cracked up to be. But hey, at least we're talking, right? Here's a fun fact. The US and Canada trade over $2 billion worth of goods every single day. That's right, every single day. Goods worth billions cross the border, making it one of the most significant trade relationships in the world. That's a lot of maple syrup and pickup trucks. But it's not just about these iconic items. It's about a wide range of products that touch our daily lives. But why is all this trade such a big deal? Simply put, trade creates jobs and boosts our economies. It fuels industries, from manufacturing to services, and supports millions of jobs on both sides of the border. When we buy and sell stuff to each other, it means more work for people on both sides of the border. This cross-border trade supports a diverse range of industries, from automotive to agriculture, technology to textiles. More jobs mean more money in people's pockets, which they can then use to buy more stuff. It's a beautiful cycle. This spending power drives further economic growth and prosperity. Plus, trade helps keep prices down. When businesses compete, they strive to offer the best prices and quality, benefiting consumers. When we have access to goods from other countries, it creates competition, which is good for consumers. This variety ensures that we have choices and can find the best products to meet our needs. Nobody wants to pay an arm and a leg for a hockey stick, right? Affordable prices mean more people can enjoy their favorite sports and hobbies. So yeah, trade is kind of a big deal. It's not just about goods and services. It's about building strong relationships and fostering mutual growth. It's good for workers, it's good for consumers, and it's good for our economies. What's not to love? Trade between the US and Canada is a cornerstone of our shared prosperity and a testament to the power of collaboration. What kind of stuff are we trading, you ask? Well, the answer is quite fascinating. We're trading a whole lot of everything. From everyday items to specialized products, the variety is immense. But some sectors stand out as real heavy hitters in the US-Canada trade game. These sectors are the backbone of our trade relationship. First up, we've got the automotive industry. It's a massive player in the trade arena. Cars and car parts are constantly flowing back and forth across the border. This seamless exchange keeps both industries thriving. In fact, Canada is the US's biggest supplier of car parts. This partnership is crucial for the automotive sector. So next time you're cruising down the highway, there's a good chance some of those car parts came from our northern neighbours. Then there's agriculture, another vital sector. We're talking wheat, beef, and so much more. The agricultural trade is essential for both nations. Dairy, fruits, vegetables, you name it, we're trading it. This exchange ensures a steady supply of fresh produce. And let's not forget about energy. This sector is a cornerstone of our trade relationship. Canada is a major supplier of oil and natural gas to the US, which is vital for our energy needs. This energy trade helps keep our lights on and our cars running smoothly. It's a critical component of our daily lives. These are just a few examples of the many sectors where US-Canada trade is thriving. The list goes on and on. It's a win-win for both countries, fostering growth and prosperity. This robust trade relationship helps keep our economies humming along, ensuring a bright future for both nations. Section 5. Tariff trouble. When good trade goes bad. Remember what I said about sibling rivalry? Well, sometimes those disagreements can turn into full-blown trade spats. And when that happens, nobody wins. In recent years, we've seen tariffs slapped on everything from Canadian lumber to American aluminum. These tariffs are basically taxes on imported goods, and they can really mess with trade. When one country imposes tariffs, the other country often retaliates with tariffs of its own. This can escalate quickly, leading to a trade war where everyone loses. Tariffs drive up prices for consumers and businesses, and they can hurt economic growth. So, yeah, trade wars are bad news, but hey, at least they make for some exciting headlines, right? Just kidding. Please stop fighting, guys. Section 6. NORAD and NATO security BFFs. Trade isn't the only thing that brings the US and Canada together. We're also best buds when it comes to security. We've got each other's backs, eh? Take NORAD, for example. That stands for the North American Aerospace Defense Command. It's basically a joint US-Canada military organization that's responsible for protecting our airspace from bad guys, like rogue missiles and stuff. Then there's NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. This is a big military alliance that includes the US, Canada, and a bunch of other countries. NATO is all about collective defense, meaning if one member gets attacked, everyone else has their back. So yeah, when it comes to security, the US and Canada are pretty much joined at the hip. We're like the Thelma and Louise of international relations, except hopefully we don't drive off a cliff together. Section 7. The trade war fallout. Nobody wins. Remember those tariffs we were talking about? Well, they have consequences. And spoiler alert, they're not good. When trade wars break out, everybody loses. Consumers end up paying more for goods, businesses face higher costs, and economic growth can slow down. It's a lose-lose situation. The US-Canada trade spats of recent years have had a real impact on both economies. Businesses have been forced to lay off workers, investment has declined, and uncertainty has cast a shadow over the future. It's a reminder that trade wars are not some abstract economic concept. They have real-world consequences for real people. So maybe, just maybe, we should try to avoid them, huh? Section 8. Making up and making money. Finding common ground. Okay, so trade wars are bad. We've established that, but how do we avoid them and how do we fix the damage that's already been done? The answer, as with most things in life, is communication. The US and Canada need to sit down, talk things out and find common ground. We need to remember that we're friends and allies, not enemies. We need to focus on the things that unite us, like our shared values, our intertwined economies, and our desire for a more prosperous future. We need to remember that cooperation, not confrontation, is the key to success. It won't be easy, but it's essential. The future of our economies and our relationship depends on it. Section 9, the future of US-Canada, trade hope and headaches. So, what does the future hold for US-Canada trade? Well, it's complicated. On the one hand, there's reason for optimism. We have a strong foundation of economic interdependence, a long history of cooperation, and a shared desire for growth and prosperity. Plus, we both really like hockey. On the other hand, challenges remain. There will always be pressure points in our trading relationship, and the threat of protectionism never fully disappears. Plus, global events like pandemics and geopolitical tensions can throw a wrench into even the best-laid plans. The key is to remain vigilant, adaptable, and committed to dialogue. We need to keep talking, keep working together, and keep reminding ourselves that we're better together than we are apart. Because at the end of the day, we're not just neighbours, we're friends. And friends don't start trade wars, right? LeroyBrown.k